Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Hold on. Let me just put this on. My air conditioner is so noisy. I need a new one. Right. How you guys doing? Long time no see. Hi, Dennis. Miss you, brother. Hi, Kevin. You too. Hi, Jack. How you doing? Hi, Robert. Yes. Hi, Robert. How are you? And Stephen Main. Hi, Germany, huh? Yeah. Abang Faith from where? From Indonesia? From Singapore? Rembadur. Oh, hi. Where you from, Rembadur? Hi, Peter Levent. Hi, Rick. How are you? Hi, Mike. Ah, cool. All right. Okay. So I'm coming on strong. How you guys doing? All good? What I can tell you is that we are having a heck of a heat wave here in Singapore, right? So in certain places, like a couple of days, we had temperatures all the way up to 36 degrees centigrade, which is like crazy. It's like, uh, okay, I'm gonna ask you something because I'm like looking at this like real funny. Like, do you see the Abercrombie thing here in reverse, or is it correct? Is it correct, right? It's correct, right? Okay. Why is my camera like? Okay, so it's okay. I'm seeing the screen. I'm like confused, like I don't know where I am. Okay, so okay. Hi, Rick from Arizona. Which part of Arizona? Yeah, so like I was saying, it was really hot. Uh, you guys probably know that I went up to Malaysia. I went up to this place called Genting Highlands. So Highlands. So it's like 1.7 kilometers above sea level. Weather is awesome over there. It's cold at night. You get the clouds coming into the room in the daytime. Sometimes you just couldn't see anything. You just like you probably seen the videos, right? It gets really cold at night, and it was a drastic change from that place coming down from that place to Kuala Lumpur, which is the capital of Malaysia. Now, surprisingly, KL is not that hot as Singapore. I guess we're like what 400 kilometers south, due south. So maybe we bear the brunt of the equatorial heat from the sun. But it wasn't surprisingly it wasn't that hot in KL. I mean, it was hot, but it was not as scorching hot as it is right now here. I could sit in the living room, watching television or checking my phone, and I would just perspire. I sweat like a pig. Um, that's bad. That's really hot. So I try not to go out in the daytime. I mean, I try not to go out anywhere in the daytime if I can. But unfortunately, that is not to be. So I had to get out and visit the new premise for City Music tomorrow. So I'm really excited to go and head on to the new office, all right, so to speak, in showroom. Basically, it's a real nice showroom for all the Martin and the GNL guitars and whatever they have, the Korg keyboards, the Black Star amps and everything. So I'm so excited to be in the new place. So I'm bringing my camera along, and I will document what I can over there. And on Tuesday, I might just head on down to this. What do where you guys hear about these 3 ships that were built by or commissioned by a Christian organization? So there's one of it is called the Davos, and they basically go around the world evangelizing. So I don't know where you guys hear about this. So one of them is in Singapore, and I'm gonna go up there and take a tour because I know some people there. So I will document that too on my camera. So right now, I'm really blessed to have this camera with me. This is given to me by my longtime friend and ex-student, which hails from China. So this is a DJI Osmos Pocket 2. So Dennis was asking me about this, and if you're still interested, let me know, and I'll talk a little bit about this. All right, where are you guys? Dennis, oh, food was good. Oh yeah, food was really good. I think I put on a couple of kgs. Coming back, and I need to shed this. I will start cycling again real soon. So yeah, Casa Grande. Wow, where's Casa Grande? Is it anywhere near Tucson or what's the other place? Oh my, I'm tired. I mean, I've been teaching the whole day. So what's the other place? Tucson, and what's the other place called? I Hi Logify, how are you? Dennis, what's the other place called? Tucson and what's the other place in Tucson? What's it called? Oh man, someone help me out here. What's the other place other than Tucson in Arizona? Arizona. No one? Hi Toddy, how are you? Phoenix, yeah. How could I forget that? So are you near? Okay. Are you near Phoenix? Yeah, Phoenix, I got it. I'm tired, I'm just tired. My Logify, a tube screamer or a compressor could be nice for kgs. What's that kg? What's a kg? I haven't been to Flagstaff. I've been to Phoenix. Stay on and off in Tucson for a spell, a couple of years. On and off, not long term. Well, okay. Dennis, John, I'm happy. Wrestled that wild animal from my porch, but it was gentle as the lamb. HBJ60 was perfect setup out of box, plays and sounds great. I'm glad. It is great. It's a great guitar. Yeah, the G60 is a great guitar. So do you still want to know about this camera? I'm sure Logify will be interested. All right, so I decided not to bring. Oh, okay. KGs. Oh, I believe that Phoenix is hot as hell. So is Tucson at this time of year, I guess. So I decided not to bring this for the concert because it's just a handful, and I had many places to visit, and I don't want to lug this around in the night market, where people are crowded. And I think this is a little bit intimidating in the concert area. Great setup I have here for for my usual. If I want to do vlogging in Singapore or places where there's less challenging, This, on the other hand, this was introduced to me about a couple of weeks ago, before my Malaysian trip, by my friend Caleb, my ex-student, and I've seen this lying around. I've seen this around in YouTube and all that. And I was intrigued by this, but I didn't know how good this was until I saw it being used firsthand. So he brought it along for his trip in Singapore, and documented some parts in Arab Street and parts of Singapore, and I was like, wow, it's pretty nifty for a little tool like this. I checked out the display. Yeah, a little tiny display here. I'm going to turn this on. So all you do is just turn it on, and it goes straight into selfie mode. Right? It goes into selfie mode. And if you wanted to head on down to your vlogging angle, just hit 3 times on this button here. 1, 2, 3. Am I right? No? What did I do? I just changed something. All right. Okay. So you can switch between modes, like taking photographs or taking video. So I'm going to hit it 3 times, and see, the camera turns around. So this is where you do your vlogging. Pretty easy. You can choose between 4K at 24 frames or whatever frames you want, and 2K if you want to. I shoot this in 2K when I'm out, so that I can save some space on the SD card. I just ordered a bigger SD card for this, so I'm going to shoot in 4K if possible. And yeah, you can switch between camera mode and video mode for this. And it comes with different packages, like different setup. Like the basic ones is just this short. Yeah, that's the length of it. I got the other one, which Caleb procured for me, an extended version where I can actually plug in a mic if I want to, an external mic, and there's even a a what you call it, attachment for you to hook onto a tripod if you need it to be stationary. This can stand by itself. Yeah, it could just stand by itself if you want to, but if you don't want to wiggle around too much, you can always put it on a tripod. There are microphones all around, so it captures the whole environment, which I think you can probably hear when you see my videos. When I'm going through the night market into those little places, you can hear things going around you, which is pretty cool. You get the environment of it. Nice. And the joystick, it comes in with different attachment. There's another attachment where you can hook onto this and you can plug in your phone right here, so you have a bigger display. So cool, right? So this guy just thought of everything, and I'm really impressed with this company, DJI. It has this little nice cover where you can put in your attachments if you want to, and it's a good place for you to kind of like keep your camera if you want to, and prop it up if you want to for like a more stable. I think I don't know, where does this work? There are many uses for this cover, but I haven't like gone through the bulk of it. It's pretty interesting. And you have the other package where I think it's the most expensive package. I think that is like the vlogger package or something like that, which comes in with additional wireless mics, so you can put on a LAV here, and you can go wireless and just talk if you want to. Yeah. All right. Hope that helps you, Dennis. Todd, Masquerade, I can name you every small wayside and town between. Oh, really? Awesome. I like that camera too. Really fun camera, actually. Curious, what's your favorite part of Singapore, buddy? My favorite part about Singapore is the fact that we have a very safe environment. Basically, yeah. I mean, there are fights every now and then in some of the clubs when people get drunk. You don't have a lot of serious, violent cases. No mass shooting, of course. Singapore is really safe. I mean, people are generally very helpful. I know about that because when I go out cycling when I was just starting, and sometimes I would fall or have a puncture, people would just stop and help you when you fall, regardless of whether they're joggers or just enjoying the stroll or fellow cyclists. People are willing to help. Like, I've seen guys or older people falling by the roadside and people rushing over to help, and not just taking out their phones, which a lot of people tend to do. I think people take out their phones to document like fights, So back in the days when COVID lockdown was really tight, people were all like kind of like having hay fever or cabin fever, sorry, and they had to fuss up, they just trust out their frustration, and they got into fights and buses and all that. So people would just whip out their handphones or their mobile phones, but generally people are willing to help, and of course there's the food, yeah. Like 350, yeah, that's right. It's about that, yeah. Now for the big story. The control board my brother brought to me is amazing, as is in the stage board for the amazing. Whoa, oh, nice, cool. Is it in good condition, Dennis, or do you need to refurbish certain stuff? Yeah, so it's not really expensive, if you think about it. And I could tell you that the workmanship is really good. It's really well made. The whole thing is like industrial grade plastic, not the ones that that you find in the cheaper products. This is meant to withstand a whole lot. Now, given the fact that this is not weatherproof, right? So don't drop it into your bathtub or to the river. It's gonna be a goner for sure. You have like straps. They provide straps for you to wrap around your hand so that accidents like this will not happen. But for me, I find the straps a little bit cumbersome. But it's useful, especially when if you saw one of the shots that I took of the view outside my window, I was like wishing that I had a strap on because I was putting out my this camera right outside my window. Yeah, and other than that, the camera is really nice. There is also an attachment for it to go wide angle if you want to. I don't have that, so I don't know. Maybe that's a future procurement for me. The wide angle lens and also the tripod attachment where you can actually attach a real simple piece of tripod. And that's good for like if you're in the room and you just want to talk. Right now when I'm doing my vlogging in my hotel room, I gotta hold it out like this. So yeah, so that's about it. Nice. And you can track your face if you want to. So you can have it stationary and you can go around like if I were to do a tour of this room, this guy would track me wherever I go. So that's pretty cool. I might just try it. I might just try it one day. I don't know. Yep, so that's it. I have to replace my capacitor for the oldest guitar that I have, I guess, is my 1987 Japanese Strat. But I did replace my capacitor but that was way back, and I decided to kind of like give up. Oh wait a minute. I had some parts change in the wow, in the mid 90s. No, yeah, in the 90s, the beginning of the 90s, and I decided to kind of like swap out the pickups and everything, and just went for the EMGs. So initially, I had that installed myself, and then I wonder whether I told you guys about this Japanese Strat of mine. I had it installed. I used it for a couple of recordings, but somehow I just kind of like I got in myself new guitars and new gears, and I fixed the guitar synthesizer setup from Roland onto it, and it worked for a while. And then after that, I just kind of left it here for the longest time until it gathered all the cobwebs and everything. It was so unsightly that I had to put it under my bed after cleaning it, of course. And it stayed under my bed for years, for literally like almost 10 years, right? So from 1992 all the way to 2000 and maybe 2004 or 5. No, I think even longer than that. I think it stayed there all the way until 2009, where I decided he has to be risen. So I took it out under my bed and I got Wayne to install the Vince Gill EMG pickup set, and yeah, so it's there right now. And much later on, I had the Vega Tram on it, changed the pickup, I'm in the pick guard, so yeah. But for most of my guitars, yes, there's some guitars that I've gone through the whole process of changing the caps and everything. Yeah, so could you try this camp with an acoustic? What do you mean? What do you mean, Dennis? He was using it in the studio, be moved to the beach. Oh, okay. Plus through the test all circuits. Well, to the beach. Now that is tricky. Salt water and all that, yeah. Power supply will oh my. That's a big ass board. Okay, that's a big ass power supply. La 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 blah. Do you still have your Nick Johnson Strat right here? Yep, I still have it. Oh yeah, Logify. I mean, it's not high, just that the whole place is high up there, right? My favorite guitar amp or amps, the Fender DeVille, Hot Rod DeVille. That's my favorite guitar amp. Right now, my favorite guitar amp, right now at this current moment, is the Fender Deluxe. Yeah, Fender Deluxe. I want to get my hands on one of these days, so yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. I don't know. I just maybe I'm getting old. I want a pure sound, a nice warm, clean sounding amp. I do not want it to be too clinically clean like the jazz cars. I don't want it to be too muddy. I want it to be really clean. Now this is clean enough, and it gets warm, but it lacks the characteristic of real tubes. So I'm looking at the Fender Deluxe, and I'm just weighing my options whether to get the real thing or get the other one, that not a fake one but the ones without the tubes. That will be more viable for me in terms of budget and weight. Size wise, they are as big as they can be, and they both are the same size. So I don't know, maybe I'm just cracking my head over it. Dennis, camera, this is the, okay, I'm gonna type it down so you can. So it's from this company called DJI, which manufactures drones. DJI Osmos Pocket 2. Right? Okay. All right. Well, what are your opinions on? I have no idea because I haven't got a chance to try one yet. I'm just hoping that someone will pass me one. Like someone passed me a Tom Anderson, which I'm so grateful. Joseph used to be a student of mine, and he has good taste, expensive taste. So he has 2 Tom Anderson, and a couple of really nice guitars. Anyway, he passed me his Tom Anderson because I was trying. I didn't have to tell you guys the truth. I am like a kid in a candy store, basically, ever since I started this channel. And I'm so blessed to have guys like Janet from Davis Guitar passing me all these wonderful guitars, and the guys in City Music passing me the Martins and the Gina, which I have no experiences at all. I'm just like a babe, trying out expensive and high-end guitars, which I never had an inkling to hit towards to, because like I said, I'm a working musician. I work within my budget, and most of my guitars doesn't really cost more than $2,000. My Luke, Ernie Ball, Luke, Steve Lukather 33, just cost me $2,000 over, yeah, Singapore dollars. So that was back in 2010, when things were pretty reasonable. And now there's no way you can get a Luke 3 for $2,000 Singapore. So I don't know. I never had this experience of playing high-end guitars. So after playing the Suhrs and the James Tyler and now the Tom Anderson, I'm gonna review another one soon enough. So these are all really nice guitars, and and the PRS, of course. So I come to realize that, all right, so that's the reason why you guys are paying, well, we are paying such unimaginable amount of money for a guitar, because they're really well made. Okay, fact number one, they're really well made, and it plays that better in many sense. So again, it's very subjective to what butter is like to you. If you try, say, a real cheap guitar, I'm not going to name brands because I'm affiliated with a lot of cheap guitars. So if affordable guitars, okay, sorry, pardon me all over the place. Okay, affordable guitars. So if you compare these to the high-end guitars, and you actually sit down and spend an hour playing it, you know what I'm talking about. In terms of pickups, the affordable guitars give you the opportunity to swap pickups if you want to. So pickups are not the problem here. They're not the main concern. The main concern is the build. Then the fretboard, the fretwork, the way the guitar stays in or out of tune, the way the tremolo system has been set up, the electronics. So all this, plays a part in the whole makeup of the guitar. So if these are all designed really well, like the Ernie Balls, the Suhr, the James Tyler, or the Tom Anderson, guitars would never go out of tune, basically. And they'll stay in tune. All right, so I bought this for the tour. All right. I love this guitar so much. Not because it's my signature guitar, but it just plays like a dream. And because it plays like a dream, I tend to go a little bit um, more adventurous to it. Same thing with my Luke. I remember when I toured my Luke, especially the Luke one, which has a Freud Rose. It was so easy for me to play that I went a little bit more than I usually do, meaning I bend a little bit more, bend a little bit harder, bend a little further. And in the course of doing that with this guitar, I injured my two fingers. So you know how this injuries. I'm going to talk about this injury soon enough, but well, basically what happens is that when you are bending it, and if you're not careful, you can injure your fingers. So the flesh under your nail peeled itself away from the nail, so you're going to get like abrasion, or you can call it cuts or tears, and these are extremely painful. So yeah, it gets really irritating, so you sting every time you pull, and it's not a good feeling to have. And I didn't have it during rehearsal. Funnily enough, I had it on the sound check before the show, the day before the show. So we had a sound check and rehearsal, a short rehearsal. But somehow I got myself injured on that, probably due to the fact that I was playing a whole lot before going up to Genting. But it was an injury, and it was something that I experienced many times when I'm playing in big shows and stuff like that. And it's just total adrenaline that keeps me playing during the show. But after that, you're gonna feel the effect, and it's painful. I tell you, it's painful. So only way to rectify it is to soak your two fingers into a bowl of ice water, and it stings like crazy. It'll take a couple of days to heal, and I thought I could. I thought this couple of days when I was like eating all my way through Malaysia, KL, would be enough, but no, apparently it's still smarts. And today when I'm teaching, yeah, it's still there, but it's not as bad as before. So yeah, this guitar is crazy. It stays in tune perfectly, even though with the reverse headstock and everything, it just stays in tune. So I didn't even have to tune it the whole show. This is the same with the James Tyler. I didn't have to tune my guitar during the whole show, not even once. Did I? No, not even once. And yeah, that's it. So you would probably you guys out there will probably think that I don't want to spend too much money on a guitar. Yeah, fine, fair enough. But if you're gonna spend money on a good guitar, do your research, right? If you're gonna spend like $5,000 on a guitar, or $4,000 US dollars, $3,000 for all that matter, do your research and find out which guitar actually stays in tune, plays really well, and it would be more preferable if you were to hands-on on that guitar. Don't buy a guitar online, and you're gonna regret it. You're gonna send it back. Head on to a music store and try it out. Who knows? Maybe you can catch a deal with the proprietor, since you head all the way down. And if that guy is a friend of yours, he could cut you a deal. So there's advantages, like as I mentioned before, about going down to a physical store. All right. Okay. So play till hurts. What's your favorite cheap guitar you have? My favorite ones are the Harley Bentons. Only one of it, and I think my favorite one is the. Let me think about it. My favorite Harley Benton is a guitar that I gave I passed it to my godson Marcus, and that's the one with the silver. It's like a Fusion Pro, with two humbuckers, and that's my favorite because it has a distinct sound. It plays like butter. That guitar plays like butter, and I had Vega-Trem installed it, and I passed it to my godson Marcus. Yeah, because I love him so much, and that's one of my favorite guitars. Which I didn't have a place to keep these guitars anymore, so I'm trying to cull what I can. Yeah, so I have to say that was my favorite guitar. Hi, Hitchman. Hitchmax77. Hi, nice to see you. Hi, Peter Bush. Or Burke. Bush, right? Jazz chorus, yeah, jazz chorus. This is too clinically clean. That's what. Dennis, I decided to take my PV while 100 watts upstairs since it only weighs 15 pounds more. Rick, top of the robotic period, Fender, Cyber, and Les Paul. Oh yeah, those like those are periods that I guess they themselves want to forget. Have I ever a Radic guitar? No, I don't have to. This looks like a Radic guitar by itself, but it's brand new. So I don't have to. I never liked the idea of having or paying money for a good Radic guitar. This is different. This is made from 130 years old chestnut cast for wine cast. So this is naturally Relic, But I would never pay money for a Relic guitar. No way. Although I can understand the attraction to it, you don't have to really bother about taking it out on the road and getting nick. But I would want my lick on my guitar to be from me myself and not from other people, and not to pay money for them to nick it. I don't see the rationale there. I decided to stop wearing gloves so much while working because hands were getting too soft and causing playing problems. Yeah. Oh, really? I think you should wear them gloves. It will protect your hands. Yeah, probably do what Logify suggested. Gloves with what you call it, fingerless gloves. Where the way I use for cycling. And talking about on the subject of injuries, or problems with the hand, I guess most of us are of age. So as you grow older, you're gonna have problems with your hands, your playing hands. And for guys like me who plays all the time, you have like really nice, or not nice, like you are easily injured, or you easily contract conditions like ganglion cyst for one. I never even heard of a ganglion cyst before until it happened to me. So this is a little lump near the joints where your fingers are. This one happened to be right here, right where your neck is, and so sometimes I feel it and it's uncomfortable, but it's not painful. It just feels uncomfortable. So I went to see a doctor about this, and he told me that, well, I have two options. One is that just to leave it be because sometimes it disappears. Sometimes it will reappear again. Sometimes it goes smaller. Or you can have a surgical procedure done on it where they either put in a syringe and hit right onto that lump and pull out and suck out everything in it. Or they can actually do an operation, which I don't really recommend, which I don't really see myself doing it. The finger is, the hand is a delicate part of your body, so I decided to let it be. But it went away for a while. It came back again a couple of months ago. So, but it's not really like making itself a nuisance. So I'll just live with it. And the other conditions that you'll find as you grow older is that your joint starts to hurt. Now, this could be the onset of arthritis, and I had it happen to me about 5 years ago, yeah. And I found out about fish oil, curcumin, and I started taking these supplements, and it really helped. So I don't have aches in my hands anymore, and also probably because I wasn't playing a whole lot at that time. That was way before the YouTube channel. And I guess when you are playing a lot and you're moving your fingers a lot, it helps in the mobility of your fingers. So I don't have that problem anymore. I'm still taking supplements, not only for my hands, but for the rest of my body. I'm old all over. Yeah. And of course, the other injuries that you might incur upon yourself on overplaying are your fingers. So this injury I'm telling you guys about, this is not the first time it happened to me. There was one time where I think I was deficient in certain vitamins, or I was allergic to something or whatever. I had all my fingernails naturally detach itself from the flesh underneath the fingernails for 8 of my fingers. Out of my 10, eight of them was affected. So basically, my fingernails were just like, hovering on top of the flesh. I know it sounds but there was no pain at all, But you just feel funny because it's like, you're gonna if you're gonna I gotta be really careful when around stuff. I cannot accidentally hit something and scrap my. I'm sure the nail would just come off. So I had to like really be careful where I am. And I was so depressed because at the same time I had frozen shoulders on both my shoulders. At the same time, can you believe it? I had to suffer this for a year, and I had gigs to do, and I have musicals to play, and I had to play real carefully and not go wild with the bands and stuff. But I still managed to get through. I don't know how, by God's grace, I still managed to play through the musicals and through some of the recordings that I did. Um, I don't know how I got through that whole year, because with the two frozen shoulder, which lasted a long time. These are things that will happen to you, if you're deficient in certain vitamins, and if you're not eating right, if you're not exercising, if you're not having the right sleeping habits, or you're not drinking enough, not eating enough. So these are things that would happen to you as you grow older. Yeah. Erotic guitars remind me of buying them new jeans with holes in. I know what you mean. The palm at base of fingers biggest problem. Get soft and touch strings. Yeah. Tough guy don't wear gloves while doing the dishes. Do you buy and sell on Carousel? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Mike Capotano is bad too. Yeah. And that's when you spend too much time on the keyboards. I used to play a whole lot of games, I used to be a gamer. I still am in many ways, but I decided to cut down my game time. I used to be like on, with the keyboard and everything. I'll be playing with a bunch of guys online. I could be playing for 4 hours straight, and it's not good, on your hands, especially your playing hand. So I decided to cut down on it and just play sparingly. So something to think about. Shooting through index and middle finger, breaking bone and middle finger with nail gun doesn't help. Oh man, that's bad. That's bad. You know what? I don't do dishes, so I don't know about wearing gloves while doing dishes. Right, any more questions? I'm not gonna stay here too long. I'm gonna be like here for another half an hour tops. So you guys got any question for me? Oh, so have you checked out the last video I did for this pedal? Yeah. So this is a great pedal. I'm surprised. I wrote to them because they sent me what did they send me? They sent me a revival drive, the smaller version before, and just wrote to them, asking whether they have any new pedals for review, and they recommended this. So this is quite new. It's basically a booster and a drive, but I'm so impressed with this pedal. I am big, not because they sent it to me, but it's really a great pedal. I could transfer a deluxe, a Fender Deluxe, a clean amp, and just clean and just real warm sounding amp with a little bit of a gain, not enough to break up, but just nice, clean sounding. And put this on, of course, with another compressor. Put this on and radically change the amp to a monster. It's that good, right? So like I said in the video, I don't need an overdrive pedal. I don't like overdrive pedals per se. If I have a great amp, so if I have a Fender Deluxe or just Mesa Boogie that I have here, I don't need a overdrive pedal. You know, that amp would just suffice. You know, with this I could radically change the sound. You know, from a clean setup to something that I could rock out with. Now, of course, you have to use a compressor. So in that video, I actually have the Cal-I here, the Cal-I 76. So this came in. My guitar goes into here and then into the Cal-I 76 stack and then into here, and it worked perfectly. There's no other stuff after this, just straight to the amp. Or whatever effects you're hearing, the reverb and the time-based units are from Helix Native after the amp. So as a core setup, this is really a great pedal. Yeah, that's all I can say. John, is it like overdrives that doesn't color the sound when M is already on a high gain channel? All right, so this can be used on a like I did it. Okay, so if you watch the video, on the last segment of the song that I played, I was using the overdrive channel on my Mesa Boogie. So I had it switched to the overdrive channel. Right, so I have two channels here. So I switched it to the overdrive channel, and I use that pedal to give it a little bit more oomph, and boy, does it oomph. And so the sustain and everything, the overtones, the harmonics just jumps out, and yeah, it's just really nice, and depending on guitars that you're using, you can get different texture to it, so you can use that in that way, or you can use it like what I said before, with a clean setup and changing that clean setup to a monster just by having this pedal on. It's crazy. Really? You have a lot of gear, do you, Dennis? You have the H&K, my good lord. So, yeah, I mean, I had well, I don't call it disturbing because I don't let things get to me too easily these days because of my age. But I got a message from someone who happens to be a luthier in Indonesia, and he was when I was doing the Tom Anderson video, and he pointed out, said, "Dude, the Buzzford system is the nut and not the tuners." I didn't know. I heard about the Buzzford system, but I always thought it was about the tuning, the tuning gears and stuff. But it wasn't. I was just shifting the nut a little bit further down into the frets. So I didn't know that, and I replied and I said, "Dude, I do not know everything, And he took it like I'm being hostile towards him. So he replied and said, "What's with the hostility and all that?" I have to reply. I say I wasn't being hostile. I was just speaking the truth because it's only on the comments that you guys give that I learn things. But he didn't tell me why. He just told me, this is a bus. I have another friend who's from Philippines too, and he kind of, Chris. He told me everything about, So I appreciate that. I learned something from that. He didn't offer that, and he is accusing me of being hostile. And for me, I go like, I'm not being hostile. If I really am pissed by you, I would not even answer you. Yeah, I would just, just neglect you. People are just different these days. I don't know. They're into the you're hurting me. You know, I'm being hurt. You're hurting me. Why are you doing this to me? But you should, like what Jesus says, take a look at your own self, before you accuse others. So I don't know. So this is kind of like not disturbing for me. It's sad for me. Like people are coming into this sort of behavior, which I realize is not beneficial to anyone. I learn from everyone here, including this channel, in this channel, including you guys, who are in this so-called live stream, which has only like 12%. Don't matter. Even as only 1%, I'll still have the live stream. So I learn from you guys. I learn stuff from you guys, and hopefully you learn from me too. And it's part of being in a community. But don't accuse me of something that I'm not. I hate that. Anyway, just me venting, right? Okay. What's this? Orin Star Hunter. Yeah. Wow. And John trying to get some Alex like. Oh wow! I was just listening to Rush. Right. So what? You were trying to get some Alex Lifeson tone out of your Joyo Jetman with some. Ooh, any advice? I have a Boss CE20. Well, it depends on what sound you're getting at. Guitars too. If you're gonna do, Tom Sawyer, yeah, he has a very unique sound out of his sort of a semi-solid guitar that he had. Guitars do play a part, and there's some chorusing and some effects going on. So the chorus do help. I mean, you can get by with a CE20. Yeah, yeah. You have to kind of like try it out on your own, because I don't know what you have and what sort of setup you have there. Boss ME80 installment super combo. I also got a HK Black. Oh, good lord. Too much, Dennis. Too much. Rick, Fender Deluxe Reverb reissue 22 watts 112, $1,006. Mighty interesting. That's mighty interesting. 1600, huh? Okay. If I put more, much more in the studio, I may have to reinforce floor. You would have to, Thank you, Calvin. I'm not. I get hostile, but I don't get hostile like that. I'm a slow burner. It takes a long while for me to get hostile, but when I do get hostile, I go ballistic. So I don't want to get hostile. That's the old man in me, and like I said, I'm a slow burner, so I don't get hostile that easily. But thank you anyway. Thank you, Calvin. Play to your hurts. Too many people in the modern world easily offended. Take no dosage. Yeah, but they're shitting on my front porch. What can you do? Like, you gotta clean up that shit. Pardon my French. Alright. Dennis, John, you're a good guy. So, Mary ho ho. Alright. Orion, my guitar choice is an Epiphone Les Paul Modern that I'm using for this. Oh, okay. Oh, that will work. Yeah, that will work. So, take note of your delays. And if I'm not mistaken, he doesn't have too much of a saturation in his overdrive. Yeah, it's not like, tons of gear, tons of gain. Yeah, he's got a very unique tone, so you might want to take note of that. I have too many people who took a dump on my front porch in my YouTube channel. So many of them, and those that I really got offended are just block and ban, B&B, But I give this guy a benefit of a doubt because I checked out his credits, and found out that he's a luthier, guitar maker. So that don't give you the whatever it is. If you are hearing this, I'm telling you right now, I'm not being hostile to you. I was just taken aback by the way you put it out to me, and I didn't have any hostility. I just wanted to learn, right? So that's it. If you're hearing this, yeah, just take it in goodwill, okay? And if you're not, then no, I don't care. I don't really care. I'm too old to care. El Troco, yo, John, I'm back. What do you think about Duvet bois? What's Duvet? What's Duvet? What's that? Let me just Duvet. What Duvet bois? What's that? A singer? Oh yeah, it's a singer. Where's she from? Oh, I haven't heard this yet. Well, I'll check it out later. Seems interesting. Orion, thank you for your kind advice. I bought the Jackman after your review. Love your clean tones. Keep on rocking. Thank you, Orion. Thank you so much. You remember me asking you about the sexiest riff on... No, I don't remember. I don't really remember. When was this? Quite a long time ago. Oh yes, I do remember now. Yeah, it's a couple of live streams ago. Yeah. So this is a song. What song is that? You tell me the name, the title of the song, by Duvet Bois. Duvet Bois. Good title for a country song. Don't dump on my front porch while I'm sitting in my home. Don't take a dump on my front porch. Just put this in melody. Don't take a dump on my old front porch while I'm sipping my drinks and eating my stuff. Don't take a dump on my old front porch. All right, never mind. Okay, what? Thank you, Orion. Thank you so much. You take care. You have a good week ahead. Rick, I made a fool of myself some years ago by removing the frets on my bass. Now I need to refret. Why would you want a fretless bass? I figure, yeah, all right. Now you're gonna need to refret it. And you know the worst thing is that through the years, the wood has contracted. John, you have been working with the best singers on your side. Well, he's super good. Oh yeah, he is. I mean, this guy is like, he just hit 60, right? He's like 3 years younger than me, and he still haven't dropped his keys. You know, he's still singing the same key. It's great. He's got great stamina. You know, great entertainer. So it's cool. Yeah, I need steel guitar for that. Just watch a video on the Origin Effects pedal. Very nice. Love it. Got to go soon. Mother's Day get together with family. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm celebrating Mother's Day tomorrow, on Monday instead of Sunday, because it's so crowded everywhere outside. So I'm gonna get a nice dinner with the kids and my wife, and yeah. And I got myself a drone. Yeah. My ex-student Kayla passed me a drone. But promise, I don't know where to fly it because Singapore is so small and everywhere is restricted. So I'm looking out for a place to fly it and maybe just get the hang of it and use it overseas. You know, in Malaysia, for example, there are a couple of places that I can fly. Yeah, you know, I think I myself just do it. You know, I always wanted to fly a drone. I didn't have the chance to. So I mean, there are places in Marina Barrage where I'm able to do some flying, but I have to check out where exactly. I'm pretty anal about the the location where you're flying it. Yeah. Anyway, oh, you've been oh, you got the McCarthy. Cool. You had the call model McCarthy. What about? Sorry, I stayed in a real nice hotel in Sheraton, in Petaling Jaya in KL. Great hotel, great service. Um, yeah, I enjoy my stay there because the room where I'm in, the window has the best view on the city of KL. Uh, Nice coffee house, but I didn't eat in the coffee house at all. I had a cup of coffee with Caleb the day I checked in, but we never ate at the hotel at all. All the food was partake outside. We had all the nice food that Malaysia has to offer. Hmm. No, we don't. We don't have to have a pilot license. We don't even have to have a permit from. I know in the states you have to have a permit from the aviation, department. And here in Singapore, we don't have to do that, but you have to be aware of where you're flying your drone. That's about it. You know, I'm thinking of bringing out a drone to Taiwan. When I hit up, maybe at the end of the year or towards the end of the year, like October. That would be nice. Yeah, I would love to go down to the coastal side of Taiwan. Where the sand and the beaches are like Okinawa. It's black, and they got great cliffs and stuff like that. That's a great place to fly the drone. But then again, it's windy, so it's kind of challenging. Yeah, I know, Logify. I know it's been a long time. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I gotta get hold of Miss Jeanette. Pretty soon enough. Dennis, they tend to get a little testy when you fly your drone across. Obviously, who wouldn't? You know, but Singapore is real small. It's real small. And we have two airports here, so yeah, a bit tricky. I know, like I always thought that I would like to fly a small one, not a big one, a small one, to follow me when I'm cycling. And even that, I don't think I can do it right now, unless I procure myself a real small one, like those spy drones. And that would be great, if I can get my hands on one. So this Mavic 2 is pretty big. It's about this big, I think enough to carry like two grenades. Yeah, I kid a lot. I'm trying to fly a drone so that I can train myself how to drop grenades on enemies, like what they do in Ukraine. My hats off to those guys. They're so precise. A drone below a certain weight, no license required. There you go. So okay, so that's the reason why they have a lot of small drones in the states. They don't want to get it too big ones, and the small ones are good enough. But the fact that because small, once you're in a windy situation, it gets a bit tricky. Yeah, I need to unwind a little bit. So let's just play a little bit. Guess when I hear this like through this amp, yeah, why not? Let's try the um, original effects with that amp. Just What time is it? It's 1 a.m. Still early. I'm going to run this without any compressor. Let's see where I can turn the clean channel into something else. Oh, by the way, the Trident, the NUX Trident is out, so they're just waiting for the production to happen. They'll even release their pricing for it, so I'm going to do a review of the Trident next week, so you guys watch out for it. I think it's a great piece of gear. Okay. Okay, first off, let me just turn on this. Right, so this is like a clean channel. Hi, Timothy. Alright, so I'm going to turn on this unit. Let's see, where am I? I'm on the normal boost mode. It's pretty loud, actually. It has that very warm sound. Right, so this is with the booster on, this is without the booster. The booster. Second position. I haven't tuned this guitar ever since he got back. Right, more boost. Right, so this normal boost. Let's head on to overdrive. Okay, at the minimum. Right, so okay, remember this is a clean amp. That's how clean this amp is. And I'm at minimum boost, right? So I'm gonna go for more. maximum. Dirty parts. It's P90. Sounds real good. So from this meek little sound to who needs the overdrive pedal, you know? But in all fairness, I think this is more of a studio kind of a pedal than a performance sort of pedal. Unless you have another booster pedal, so you can have this set to what you want to do, like, you know, like what I just demonstrated. You can use this like an overdrive pedal if you want to, but this is not like an overdrive pedal at all. This is a booster. So again, like I said many times before, it's dependent on your amp. If you have a great tube amp, this will take advantage of your tube amp. If you have, say, a deluxe or a DeVille or Warrior Hack and Koch, or that's a gun, H&K, Hughes and Kettler, right? Or you can have like your Marshall amps, you know, in the clean setting, great tube amps like even a Vox, you know, which has the tendency to break up, you know, and you can use this. This will be so advantageous because it plays on your original amp, how it is. So like you hear this is not a tube amp, this is a transistor amp, and it already sounded good, you know, so good. It sounds great with this, definitely, because I used it on the video. And if you have a great tube amp like the DeVille, for example, man, you don't need an overdrive pedal, you just need this, right? And you have another boost pedal for the subtle kind of like semi-clean kind of sound if you want to, and then have this like a full-blown thing. Cool. Could I use a drone as a defense cage? Yeah, you got it, man. That's a great idea. It's a grand idea. Dennis, you have 3 drones with follow and return. Cool. What do you need a drone for, Dennis? For your horses? Funky Bass UK. Hey John, do you know Malcolm Tan? Yes, I heard about him. I haven't have any dealings with him. He's pretty expensive. Yeah, but he's renowned for his work. So yeah, I heard about him. Hey John. Hey, hi Timothy. That's a great sound with a booster on. Yeah, yeah. Pick up a new orange 35 watt for 100. Oh, nice. Luna, cheers, John. Sounds great. Thank you. El Troco, we are witnessing the smoothest. No, no, no. No, I'm not. I'm not. I have tired fingers, injured fingers. Yeah. Okay. Peace, peace. Is this how Dixon used to do it like this? I forgot. All right. If you want to sound, just ask John. He'll make it perfectly. Imagine John and Larry Basilo. Well, she was here last week. Yeah. Your orange amp chips? No, not transistor. Solid state. Yeah. We'll check the views. Yeah. Do that, man. Yeah. So right now I'm using this for this amp. This is the Nuex Matsumi. Yeah. So this is good enough if you want a compressor and a booster both in one unit. But then again, there are certain things that this can do which you cannot achieve with a combination of, say, a Cali 76 and this, because this is like 500 or 300 US. This is like really cheap. So go figure. This is studio quality effect, and this is more for the gig friendly. Very different class. I'm not saying this is inferior. I use this, when I teach. So this is good enough for most of the stuff that you're doing. But this takes it into another level. Now I would use this with an amp. Obviously, I would use this with an amp if I'm recording my Mesa Boogie here. I would use this, if I want to get a certain sound that I want to. I say again, I prefer boosters than overdrive, even though I love overdrive pedals. Some overdrive pedals are really nice. But in my ears, it's still dependent on the amplifier that you're playing it with. So you guys would know that I've done a whole lot of videos of overdrive pedals, like the ones from PRS, the ones from Marshall, the ones for exotic, pedals and whatnot. A whole number of pedals, overdrive pedals, and I love them. But if I were given a choice of using them or using a really good booster like this, I would use this anytime. Okay. Any more questions? If I found a tube orange at that price, you have to pick it up insulated. John, do you know Kazuki Isoga? You both are mad smooth. Oh no, I haven't heard of him. No. Like I don't know everything. I'm still learning. So you guys are like throwing names here and there, which I really appreciate, which I will go and do my research. And yeah, I don't know everything. Like, the guy that took a dump on my front porch. Yeah. So I gotta go. I have to go. I'm so tired. Do you have anything to eat? No. Yeah, 2 famosa. That's about it. I'm so tired. I'm actually bored. Yeah, I'll probably like make myself another cup of coffee. No. Did I? No, not yet. Yeah, I haven't tried any GHS pedals before yet. Not yet. A couple of things happening to round everything up for tonight. I appreciate you guys for joining me, but I want to give thanks to God for a lot of stuff that happened in the past week or so. um, many open doors. I, uh, I got endorsed by Stay in Tune. Stay in Tune. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna make a video about strings anyway. So I'm gonna do this. So I thank God for opening up the doors for me to be endorsed by Stay in Tune. Just a brief history. I fell in love with SIT strings since 1985. That's probably a year or 2 years after I started playing in the clubs, back in 1985 when I was just 25 years old. And they used to sell like SIT strings in Singapore. And I would just get them. They cost a little bit more than the rest of the Ernie balls or whatever. In fact, at that time, DRJ wasn't that popular. In fact, I don't know whether they do exist, but the strings that are available at the time were the Fender Bullets, whatever, the Gibson strings. They are probably OEMs, but name and the Gibson and then they Stay in Tune. And I remember the reason why I tried to Stay in Tune, the SIT string, was because of a advertisement from a guitar player, which has Steve Lukather saying that he uses only Stay in Tune strings. And me being a diehard fan of Steve Lukather, I say, okay, what the heck, just try it. So I bought 2 packs and I never did regret it. I enjoyed it so much that I went back for more. But sadly, around 87, 88 or 89, the strings can't be found anymore in Singapore. Nobody sells them anymore. So I had to resort to other brands. And then I thought the company went out of business or something like that because I don't hear from them anymore. I don't see any advertisement in Singapore about Stay in Tune strings or anything like that. All I see is on shops are like until one day when I was at Davis Guitar and I looked up and there I go, Stay in Tune strings. So I told Janet that I wanted to buy, and she, of course, anyway, I love that girl. She just gave it to me. So, and I tried it, and I never looked back since. And I hold it on like little inklets of gold because they're so precious, right? They're not easily available. Sometimes they go out of stock. That's what Janet tells me. And I would use them sparingly on the guitars that I use for gigging. And I love them. I really do love them. I love how they feel in my hands, basically. And I'm going to talk about it a bit more in the video that I'm gonna do about strings. So that's the brief history about Sting. And I thank God that he opened up the door for me to be endorsed by SIT because I took a chance that I wrote to them. And wow, miracles are all miracles. They acknowledged me and yeah, they accepted me as one of their endorsers or endorsees. And that's one thing. And the other thing, of course, is the this pedal. I took a chance and I just wrote to Origin. And they sent me a pedal before I just try out, and they agreed. So they sent me this with a new T-shirt. That's great. And the other thing is the procurement, or rather the gifts of the cameras. This and the drone. So all these things just came in and I thank God for favors from him as well as from friends and people that I don't know. And from you guys, you guys are so kind to me every time I have a live stream or when we talk about stuff. So I just want to give thanks to God for all these little favors that I have, including the work that I have in Genting, playing with all these great musicians and having this life as a touring musician or session musician. And yeah, talking about session. Before I went out on tour, I had an intense session of about 5 songs. I did another session, so there was a whole lot of sessions going on before I went on tour. And I thank God for the amount of work that I'm having as a sessionist again. Because during the COVID, I did a couple of sessions because of the COVID, but then album production kind of scaled down during that period. And I'm glad that I have all this work to do. So I'm just hoping that and praying that God will sustain me through the next couple of years. And hopefully I'll get to tour the States again towards the end of the year. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. but I'm planning to head on down to Taiwan for about 2 weeks. So that's the general plan. Yep. Oh, really? On G&Ls? Really? I didn't know that, Chuck. I thought they were strung with normal strings. Interesting. What? My eyes are closing. Have a good rest, boss. Thank you. You use Harley Benton speaker caps for your tube orange. Cool. Have a nice week. Thank you, Rick. Chuck, get some sleep. Hope you have a wonderful week, John. You too, Chucky. God has definitely watched over US. I hope he does. Thank you, Dennis. A lot of the older string brands that were so good, big companies brought them out and ruined the chord. You're right. Yeah. Congratulations to the endorsement. Thank you, Luna. If someone gifted you some H&K stuff, I'm sure you would be offended. Why would I be offended? Why would I be offended? I love Heckler and Hughes. Is it? Heckler and Koch. MP5. So I can think about H&K MP5. John, why don't you have snacks today? Because I just ate, Logify. I had a full dinner. The wife cooked, so it's terribly rude not to partake of her lovingly made dinner. So I had a full dinner, so no snacks today. I'm trying to keep my weight. I ate a whole lot. KL. Timothy, man, I use Dean Markley. Oh yeah, GHS Boomers. Ernie Ball now. I use the Aldero. Yeah, so I went through all this. I had the Boomers, the Ernie Balls. I like the Ernie Balls though, but they're also very hard to find. And during this whole course of recording and gigging, and where you have to change string constantly, you have to opt for the economical brands like D'Ardero, which are relatively okay, affordable. So I used to buy strings per box. I don't buy them like per packs. I think it's more economical that way by buying them in boxes. Yeah. So strings are, the reason why I decided to do this video about strings, I get questioned by a lot of guys all the time, like, John, what's my favorite strings? What are my favorite gauges? And that includes the acoustic too. So I'm going to do a video about the acoustic guitars too, but that will be later on because I have to string up. Because what happened is that SIT, bless them, they actually sent me I actually asked for a box of their interesting acoustic guitar strings. I think this is the one. Okay. This one. Nope, not this one. So they sent me a box of this for you acoustic guitar players out there. I haven't seen this before, right? So this is really interesting. This phosphorus bronze, but these are like coated with a material called CRT, right? Something like Elixir, but it's supposedly doesn't feel like like there is a plastic sheen over your strings. Like when I first played on an Elixir, I didn't like it, especially for acoustic guitar. I know they last long, but heck, the tone is bad. They improve. Obviously, they have improved through the years. So this is supposedly good. So I'm going to string this up. These are 13, so I'm going to string this up my Martin and my Taylor. So my Martin and Taylor is, they're getting new strings tonight. And I'm going to play them, record a couple of songs or whatever, and experience how they feel, and then probably I'll do another video on acoustic guitar strings. Oh yeah, really? Cool. But don't have to be a video for that. I could just tell you right now, there's a whole lot of difference. Again, there's new technology, so there are the new versions where they're not as heavily coated as before, where you don't hear the the brightness or the ringing, as opposed to uncoated strings. I love uncoated strings, but the problem is that they don't last long. But it's not a real problem for me, actually, because I don't perspire. I have no sweat pores. No, I do. I don't perspire that much on my hands, so it's not a problem. Strings actually last a long time for me. I don't have to constantly change strings like some people that I know, who constantly perspire. They have rusty bridges, rusty frets. Ew. Right. So not me though. And there is a whole lot of sonic difference because I record acoustic guitars all the time. I know, and having a fresh set of Phosphorus bronze, especially the Earth one from Ernie Ball, those sound really good. For your information. So lately I've been using some of the new Elixirs. Again, I think Jeanette sent it to me. Nice, and there's even a there's something that she sent me which is very interesting. Like there's no squeak. You're not supposed to have. It's like it eliminates all the squeaks. So that's pretty interesting too. And maybe I should string one of my guitars with that. But if I'm not mistaken, those were like 011s, which is a bit too light for me. But we'll see. Yeah, 1356. This is what I use for my Martin. I think the Martin D35 sounds the best with that. So does the Taylor. In any case, but I think I'll string the Taylor. No, I'll do the same. I'll have like 13s on them too. Yeah, on both of this guitar. Paul Chink. I just got a Nuex MG30. Did level work properly with a quick tone? I have no idea because I'm using Apple. Yeah, so sorry. You know what you can do, Paul? You can head on down to Facebook. Facebook has a NUX Nuex MG30 forum. You can join them and ask your question there. I think they'll be able to help you. Black Diamond strings are the best acoustic strings ever for the flat top picking on Martin. Really? Okay. There's so many strings out there, so many brands out there. Remember the old brand called Diamond? Yeah, Diamond strings. My good lord. This like way back in the 50s, Well, I wasn't born then, but I remember diamonds in the old guitar shops back in those days. Pyramid strings, not diamond, pyramid strings. I think I have some over here because I ordered some from Thomann for my lap steel. Found out that they were the wrong length, so I couldn't use them. Yeah, that's me. So yeah, any case, this what I wanted to tell you guys. That I was really thankful for. One of my battery is going wonky on me. Wait, what's happening? What's happening to this? Okay. I'm charging my batteries for my camera anyway. Okay, so it's all charged. Cool. Oh, no more? Oh, I figured because I don't hear them anymore. I heard about it a long time ago, but Squier was a string CA before. Really? I didn't know that, Rick. Thank you. See, you learn something new every day, I didn't know that. I thought Squier was just a subsidiary of Fender all along. I know one thing, that Epiphone used to be a guitar maker independently before Gibson bought them over. And I might get a chance to review some of the new Heritage models, the Les Paul lookalike. Yeah, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. Yep. All right, so enough about me. What about you guys before I call it night? You guys doing okay? I know Dennis is doing great because he's like buying new stuff, trying out new toys. Optima, yeah, I heard about that. Gold plated strings. Ooh, ooh. I'll 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 bet those are like really expensive. Gold plated. Speaking of pyramid strings, do you have any Rickenbacker guitars? I have a Cowboy. Wow, that's 36012 that I purchased about 25 years ago. Wow. No, I haven't tried. Well, did I? No, I haven't tried on. I haven't played on the Rickenbacker before. I would love to. Yeah, such great history, right? Dennis, I got a few black diamonds in my safe. Good one. Epiphone was the main competitor. Yeah, that's what I believe. Epiphone made some great guitars back in the days, 50s and 60s. Yeah, I'll bet. Timothy had a Univox guitar and an Ibanez Bob Weir model that I regret selling. Yeah. That's the thing about you, Tim. You've been selling a whole lot of guitars that I know you're gonna regret. You know. That's why I'm very careful about selling my guitars. Chuck doing okay here, thank you. Oh, it's great to know. Logify got my first Tube Screamer Mini. Oh really? You like it for metal? Nice. That's interesting. Epiphone will release Greenie soon. Mm-hmm. I will wait for it. Yeah. Gibson left the country, so no one is the sole distributor for Gibson in Singapore right now. They left Sweetie, so it's flying all over the place. So no one is taking up the dealership. I understand. Yeah, they demand a lot. For their yearly products. So the quota. So everybody's like not really interested. So that's sad. Yeah. Rexomatic, the 660 have a little wider neck, similar to the Tom. Oh, nice. Crested wave body. Yeah. No, these guitars, they look so good, sound so good. But I haven't really played on any one of those. Would love to get my hands on one of these one day. Really wish they were strings. Love Black Diamond. The song was written about them. No. Need to make a vintage guitar and amp live stream. I need to make a food channel live stream where I go around live streaming, eating. Yeah. Anyway, vintage guitar and amp. I'm not the guy to go through because I'm really not into the vintage stuff. I am, but not much of aficionado. I like some of the old vintage guitars and amps, but I'm not you know what I mean, a fanboy over those. Daniel M. In one of your videos, you said that the PS McCarthy SE and SE Mark Holcomb are two of your favorite SE. Can you maybe tell us how this can be since they are so different? Yes, they are different. In many ways, the Mark Holcomb is a little bit more of a modern take. The pickups are really different too from the McCarthy. So I say the McCarthy SE? I don't think I said the McCarthy SE, or maybe under the SE. Yeah, the under the SE. Yeah, but to tell you the truth, I prefer the Mark Holcomb over the McCarthy. That's the truth. Okay, so I'm telling you right now. If it's a McCarthy S2, yeah, I'll take the McCarthy S2 anytime. I love my McCarthy S2, but the McCarthy SE leaves a little bit more to be desired. The Mark Holcomb is a better buy. Yeah, in my opinion. You did the eating thing pretty good. uh, yeah, I think I ate a lot. I would start the day breakfast and then Sometimes I have lunch, so it's like brunch and lunch, and then dinner. But this time I didn't have any supper because I always have really great dinner. The last night that we were there, I didn't document it. I had really great okay, get this, Vietnamese beef stew. So good. Again, Vietnamese beef stew with the pho, with the noodles. So good, it's just different from pho, like the normal noodles, like. And I ordered Tribes, I love Tribes. It's a great Vietnamese restaurant in Petaling Jaya, and yeah, it was so good, and so affordable. Right, we had a dinner at a Japanese restaurant which serves up really good Japanese sushi and stuff like that. We had 6 people, right? 6 people over for dinner. I foot the bill and it came to about 450 Malaysian ringgit, which is like 100 and well, maybe about 190, 180 Singapore dollars, which is like 120 US for 6 people. Just crazy. No, you don't have to, Les. You don't have to. You have to try it out for yourself, And I can tell you that the SEs, they are great looking guitars, but if you compare them playing wise to the S2 or the core models, they're relatively different. So they're great looking guitars. The finishes and all that is top notch, but somehow it just sounds different. The Mark Holcomb SE for me sounded really unique. And yeah, this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Yeah, we are all vintage. James, I'm trying to catch up with you. Hibiscus and sausage gravy this morning. It ain't nothing. I had great. My wife cooked up chicken, which is like coated with God knows what, but tastes wonderful. Egg with onions, fried egg with onions and I don't know, onions, right? It's basically onion and eggs with a little touch of salt. And I had famosa, you know what? Famosa, those triangle shaped things with vegetables or sometimes with curry and stuff like that. And plain old rice, comfort food. Right? Food Network. John is too hungry. Yeah, I should start that. I was I was thinking about, but I'm not really a great eater. My friend Thomas is. Look at his size. But I'm not a great eater. So I love good food, but again, I basically eat everything that is there. I'm not really a chooser. If I get a chance to travel a lot, yeah, maybe. I would go down to places to eat. Just vlog it. Yeah, that'll be good. So maybe I'll just have another channel so it doesn't disrupt whatever you guys are watching on the guitar channel, and have a food channel where I port over all these vlogs over to the other side. What do you think? Do you think that I should do that or just incorporate it into this John is Too Loud so you guys can have? But I don't see a lot of views for the food, so I guess guitar players are not really into food. I don't know. Maybe it hurts the sensitivity. Oh, you have food in the channel. God, why do you do that? I don't know. So people are strange. People are strange. I love that song. When I leave the Chinese restaurant, they have to wheel me out dolly. You like Chinese food that much? Chinese food, and where you come from, man, they're nothing. You should get over here. You should get your ass over here, Dennis. And I'll show you. I'll take you to places. Chinese food in States, not good at all. No, not good at all. Period. You know, I've been to Chinese restaurants in Arizona, in New York City, everywhere I go. Like, not good. California, San Francisco, maybe San Francisco. Some shops are still pretty okay. But in New York, no way, Sorry, guys, I know some of you, I mean, I don't know, maybe guitarist and restaurants owner in China shop, I'm sorry. But it cannot be compared to the food that is available in Hong Kong, in Malaysia, in Singapore. Yeah, no way, no way. On the other hand, the Vietnamese food are pretty okay. I had some really great tasting Vietnamese pho in Tucson, Arizona. I don't know why, but yeah, somehow the Vietnamese food community, they're pretty good. They have sort of a standard uh, on their Vietnamese dishes. The Chinese are like, they're aiming for the masses. So you have all your kung pao chicken, which is non-existent over here, non-existent in China. So this is probably a quasi-American invention, you know. But and everything is like oily and there's not much, yeah, to it. Sorry. Anyway, uh, really excited to be going on to Iceland. Wow, wow, cool to see Elvis Costello and Nick Lowe. Nice. Kevin Young, I can vouch for that. I've eaten Chinese food in Singapore and other Southeast Asian countries better than there, obviously. Yeah. Huntsville has genuinely Chinese. It doesn't mean nothing. You can have a Chinese running a restaurant. Doesn't mean that the Chinese people running the restaurants are great cooks. That's what I'm trying to get at. You know, let me tell you the situation here in Singapore. So the guys that does really nice Chinese or local food in Singapore, they come from way back in the 40s. After the war, they were selling hawker food. Hawker meaning guys that are selling food on the food stalls around the streets, and they have great pride in their work. The old pioneers, and they come up with wonderful dishes. And the same goes for Malaysia. And then as the years gone by, these guys they grow old, and the children didn't want to carry on the tradition. So sometimes their children does that, and it's great, So they kept the family recipe and everything. Sometimes the operators in the hawker center would have a shortage of really good authentic local fare, so they hire like Chinese cooks from China over, and it just tastes way different. The food in China tastes very different from the food here. Why? Because we have local preferences. We like chili, for example. We like our noodles spicy. We like certain amount of vinegar and stuff like that. But for Chinese, they have their own way of cooking in mainland China. So you are thinking, oh, Chinese food, they are the same. They're different. You have the various provinces like Hainan, Fujian, Canton. So you have all these different dishes going around, and that's what's so good about Singapore. You can get all these different provinces of food in one place. You don't have to be like in China where, oh, I fancy a Teochew dish, so I have to like take a train to province to Chuzhou, or I fancy a Peking duck, and you gotta take a flight all the way to Beijing. You have all these dishes in one place in Singapore. That's what's so cool about Singapore and Malaysia. So doesn't mean that you're a Chinese that you will cook whatever food that is there. You don't. So you guys, some of the Chinese that have left their homeland and gone on to migrate to the States, maybe they've been there for generations. They lost all touch about what authentic Chinese food is. Some of them still do maintain whatever recipe they have. Now, I'm sure there are probably good Chinese food somewhere in New York. Maybe one of the most expensive Chinese restaurants there over there. I'm pretty sure. But most of them have kind of like cater to the taste of you Americans out there. So it changes, it just changes everything. So it's a different tasting thing altogether. Okay. Yes. I know. The solo album. Yeah. Someone was telling me about that too. I'm taking my time. Um, I should sit down, right? I should sit down and plan this solo album. I don't know. Hmm. John, a great healthier snack, homemade popcorn, and it's a nice quick snack. Yeah, it's nice, but it's also for us Chinese we call it hiri. You know, yeah, hiri. Pimples, stuff like that. Keith Lewis. No matter what amp you're running, you always have a great. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Basically, yeah, yeah. It's just how you hear things. It's just how I perceive what a tone should be. Um, yeah. Basically, that's it. Still like 2 minutes in a big pan. All salt. Nice. So I gather you're a popcorn fan. Kevin Young, now I'm missing the chicken rice with the super long line in the hawker centers. Yeah, chicken rice, for example. Chicken rice is something that we will associate with the island of Hainan. But if you head on down to China, Hainan, you don't find it. You don't find Hainanese chicken rice at all. The way that it's been cooked over here. Why? Because it's a localized dish. The people from Hainan came in, somehow they invented chicken rice with the sesame oil, with the black sauce, with the fragrant rice. This took years to evolve. So you need to make some. There's too many videos of that going around. Yeah. And judging from the response that I have from my food vlog, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be worthwhile. Yeah, there's not much hype about it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just making it for you guys because I always think about you guys. Like some of you guys are been staying in like the remote places in the States where you don't get a chance to get out into this part of the world. So I thought, hey, introducing some food, the local food, will be interesting. So yeah, that's all I was thinking about. And I even kept the local accent, when I'm talking to my friends. So this very Singlish, very Malaysian English, so that you guys get the feel of it. Hey, Arvin, you been out cycling again? You hungry? Oh, great. They are with the Chinese food. They came here to cook and run the restaurant, travel back and forth to visit friends. Some haven't learned good English, traditional cooks. And you know why? There's a reason why. And I wouldn't want to go there. So you guys probably would know the reason why they keep to themselves and not learn English and converse with the other good people in the land. I myself was shocked when I did a tour around Canada a couple of years back in the late 2000. So we went from Vancouver all the way to what's the other place? One end to the other end. Vancouver to where? To Toronto. And the places that we go to, not too bad because the young folks are speaking English. The older folks don't speak really well English. Then not the first language. Chinese is their first language. And I was kind of like, why is this so? So I didn't get the gist of it until we finally did a tour in the States where we were going around. This is a ministry tour, so I went around the churches in the States, and especially in California as well as in Tucson, places like New York, for example. I found out that a lot of them don't speak good English at all, and they're really good at Mandarin and whatever dialect they're from. Even some young ones, and I go like, why in the world is this happening? And I found out later on that there was a dark reason for it. So I guess you guys would know. If you guys are my age, you would know. Um, and that's why they don't speak English, because they stick to themselves, because that's where they find protection and safety at. And they don't go out and work. Like my godson, Jay, who stays in California, he works in a multinational company, so he speaks impeccable English. And some of my one of my goddaughters teaches, so she speaks really well too. But for most cases, they all work within the confines of the Chinese community. Like, if I work in a restaurant, or I work in a trading company, or I work in whatever businesses that the Chinese have, I would just speak Chinese with the people around them. They don't feel the need to speak English. That's the problem. Same goes for the Vietnamese and the Koreans, for example. But I think the Koreans are a little bit more spread out, and the new generation of Chinese are not too bad off. I have some young ones who actually speaks really well. So that's the reason why. Anyway, wow, I'm envious. Late night ride. Friends with several families from China. My daughter-in-law is third generation. Cool. Yeah, ask her, and yeah, just tell her what I told you, and see whether she agrees with that. She probably is not, because she's probably not one of those that I talk about. She's probably outgoing, and she goes out to work, so she probably speaks great English. But there are people of her age and some who are older who sticks to their own community. Yeah. I'm going to start cycling soon, Orion. Once I get the inspiration to get my butt off my chair. Yeah. I miss cycling at night. Oh really? Yeah, they were taken from this photographer called Alex. He hails from Ipoh, if I'm not mistaken, and great photographer. So I worked with him many years ago, and I liked the pictures that he took. So this time we engaged him to be the official photographer. Yeah, nice. I'm still waiting for some pictures from Caleb. Yeah, he had this good lord, Hasselblad. I think it's a Hasselblad, but it's a A1 frame camera, which like the whole body costs like 13, you're not mistaken, 13 grand US, and then the lens costs about 12 or 13 grand US. So he has this camera for his work. He does stage designing and stuff. So they are already high definition, and you don't need a zoom. You can just take it at a distance, but you can just zoom in digitally, and you can show the pores of your skin. So that's how high def that camera is. So I'm just waiting to see what he's gonna send me. Both sides of my grandparents from China. Yes, they are. My granddaddy, well, my father's side, hails from Fujian. Are The stories that I hear from my dad is that he would hold an umbrella and a erhu, an erhu, and yeah, he would sit on a boat. This is what the picture that I got. That he sit on a nice little boat on the way to the ship that took him from Fujian over to Singapore. So that was my father. My grandfather on my mother's side is an enterprising guy who also hails from Fujian. Both my grandfathers are very entrepreneur in nature. My my father's father had a company here in Singapore which did really well until the bombs start dropping in Singapore by the Japanese, and his business was ruined. My grandfather on my mother's side is another entrepreneur. He did really well. He imports rice, flour, and all that, and his business never did perish during the Second World War. It maintained, and but sadly it got wasted through the years because the sons were Yeah, my uncles were not um, letting the business run its course. So there's a whole lot of stuff going on, which is all family politics. In the end, yeah, it wasn't like a dynasty. I remember going down to my grandmom place. It's a 3-story building. Can you beat that? And all the families would be staying there, including the unmarried daughters. And my grandma was a small little petite woman, like 5'2", if I'm not mistaken. And she gave birth. Okay, sit down if you can. She gave birth to 10 daughters and 5 sons. 15. 15 kids. It boggles my mind. And she does hail from China because she has her feet bound. Back in the days when the Manchurian, with the Manchurians or the Mongols or whatever, the Manchurians dynasty, they have their feet bound because they are considered to be attractive for women. God knows what. And it's deformed. The feet are deformed. And I used to, like, sometimes pass by her room and she would get her feet bound. And sometimes there's a spell to it. But we got accustomed to it because we were kids. We didn't know nothing. 15 kids, right? Imagine. All of them have different characters. I love my fourth uncle a lot. Yeah, he's one of the kindest men I ever met. No, my second uncle. Yeah, I love him a lot. He was one of the kindest men. And the rest of them are like, just so acquaintance. My mom was number 8 in the girls' side. She was number 8, and there was another sister below her, and there's another sister. So big family. I remember heading there for my granddad. Was it my granddad's funeral? Yeah, it was a grand thing. There was like a big procession because he was well known, and he was known for his generosity during the wartime, where he gave up rice and flour to the people who are hungry. So the community there loved him, so they all turned up for the funeral, and it was a big thing. I was really young then, and we used to visit that place every weekend. So my mom would insist that we go up there, and we would hang out with the aunties and the uncles. They were doing business downstairs, selling, the rice and whatever. And upstairs is where the women are. So of course the kids were hanging around where the women are, and they were cooking for the Sunday lunch, and it was a big thing every weekend. So that was interesting. I didn't get to see my granddad on my daddy's side, or my grandma for all that matter. They were long gone. Yeah, before I was born. But I had my dad, so my dad would tell me stories about what happened and what they went through during the war. There was one time I think he shared that when the bombs were dropping from the Japanese plane, which incidentally he actually spent a lot of time looking at the sky, like me, my dad. Yeah, the apple doesn't fall far from a tree, but he has a reason to look at the sky because there were dogfights going up there. Where you see this British Hurricane trying to intercept the Japanese bombers. And he will be looking up there and watching these dogfights and trails, smoke trails, and all that. And then when the bomb hit, it was a shock to him because they were supposed to bomb the military installation, but the Japanese commander just don't give two hoots about it. So they bombed the general population. And when the bombs dropped near my grandfather's place, it was just me and my dad. It was just him and my dad, my granddaddy and my dad, and they both huddled together under a big oak table, praying that the house doesn't get bombed directly or it collapses or anything like that. So they were huddling inside there. And he told me that he remember after the bombing, after the siren went off, like okay, it's clear, that the whole place was engulfed with smoke and dust. This house was intact, right? The business was still, I mean, the office was still intact. And he wanted to take a look outside. So he stepped out of the house. It's all dusty. And the first step that he took, he felt something warm and gooey. and they found out that he just took the first step out of the house into the body of a body, a lifeless body, and he pulled his leg down. It was all covered in blood. And then as he stumbled across the streets, there was like fires to the left, smoke, heavy smoke billowing to the right, bodies strewn across the street, people that didn't have enough time to hide or to run into air raid or into bomb shelters. He would see dismembered bodies, like he was telling me he saw this body of a woman naked, with no head, no arms, nothing, just yeah, charred bodies hanging by the road and by the drain. He told me it was an awful sight to behold, and the smell. So this is what I gathered from him when I was young, and of enough age to understand, to comprehend what he was trying to tell me, that that the experience that he went through during the Second World War. And for a young boy like me, I was going like, wow, So war, yeah. And for some of you guys, old timers, especially like Dennis, who've been through whatever conflict that you guys were in, you would know what my daddy was talking about. And after that, the Japanese occupation, where Singapore was subjected to Japanese rule. The Japanese came and scrutinized every able-bodied man, which includes my father, whether they have ties with the motherland or are they pro-communist. And a lot of them didn't come back, during the interrogation. Our Prime Minister, Lee Kuan Yew, was with my father, was with the same age group. He was also caught up in, and God in His mercy, saved him, as well as my father, from being shot along the beaches in Singapore. So there were thousands of them being executed. Some are doctors, some are teachers, scholars, and these guys are the ones that they target. And it took me a long while to forgive the Japanese, to tell you frankly, because of these stories and all these atrocities that they committed in Singapore during the Second World War. Not to mention the other places like Burma, Malaysia. But I got really pissed with them because they nearly killed my dad. And it took me a long time to forgive the Japanese. So the funny thing happened when I was called to go on a mission trip to Japan. I remember that was back in 2002, if I'm not mistaken. I was pursuing God during that time because I just became a Christian in 1998. So I was going to Bible school, I was trying to learn more about God, and I was given this opportunity to head out to Sapporo for a mission trip. And I struggled. Oh, God knows I struggled. Even on the last day, on the last hour when I was on board the plane, I was on a midnight flight, a red eye, to Osaka, if I'm not mistaken, before heading to Sapporo. And I was questioning, and I was asking God, I said, Lord, why? I don't want to forgive them because of all these things that they've done to our people. But yet, yes, I'm supposed to go there. And I was worried for my son because he was like 1 year old, 2 years old, and I missed him terribly. And I hear God talking to me in the dark, right? I haven't took off yet. The plane was still in the runway, and I hear God says, "Don't worry about his son. He's going to be taken care of by me. As far as the Japanese people, I love them as much as I love you. The sins of men can never be comprehended, and everybody's sin, So it took me a while to reconcile that, and I was still struggling with it even as the plane took off and we were in Osaka, and then went over to Sapporo. This is not the first time that I've been to Japan. I've been to Japan for gigs and stuff like that, but this time, as a ministry. But when I head down to Sapporo and I met the Japanese people there, the Christians there, my heart melted. I didn't want to cry in front of them, but the way they treated us with so much love and so much hunger. They just wanted to learn more. And my heart just gave way, and I go like, sorry, Lord, for for not forgiving them all these years. And I was so happy to be with them. Basically, they're the nicest people I ever met. These Japanese Christians that I met, and the churches were small. Really small. We're talking about 60 people in the church, but they love each other so much, and they love God so much. And the wonderful testimonies I hear from them is something else. They would tell me about how they came to the Lord because they are so interested in singing the black gospel music that they went and joined a gospel choir. So imagine this bunch of Japanese who doesn't know English trying to sing stuff from Aretha Franklin or some of the old gospel songs. And one time, one of them started crying in the middle of the rehearsal, and someone asked her and said, "Why are you crying?" And go like, "I don't know. I don't understand a single word I'm singing." But I don't know why I'm crying. And it's later on that someone who actually understands English came over and explained to her what these lyrics are. They go, that's why I cried. And she became a Christian soon after. So there's a lot of wonderful testimonies when I was there in Sapporo. Yeah. Anyway, I was rambling. Chair aerobics. How many of you guys are still here? A lot of them are left. There's only 6 of you guys here. Daughter in law, both sides from China. Well, nice. Quick gig question, John. Do you recently pipe directly to PA or mic from a cab? No, it's directly from my Helix to the main house. 15 kids, yeah. Oh yeah, she's really healthy, There was always big families back in the days, and the mortality rate was high. Yeah, so saw pics of bound feet look painful. Can't play with pedals, no way. Wartime, nasty. War is not a pleasant thing. Yeah, godless people have no idea what they're missing. When they find Jesus, then they understand. It's true. Real soul music. Yeah. We can't condemn the sons and daughters for the sins of these forefathers. No, we can't. We can't. You can't judge other people of the country because of the government. It's horrible. Exactly, Chuck. I agree totally. And God has shown me so many things when I'm out country. When I love the time when I'm serving. I also remember the first time that I went to China to be involved in a worship event, and I've seen how these young Chinese, they were so hungry for God, how on fire they were, and I miss those times. I miss those times where you get to be an encouragement to these people. I miss those times when they were so innocent. The people these days are really different from a decade back, due to the internet, due to the phone, cancel culture, or whatever culture, the woke culture, whatever you want to talk about, due to propagandas, false fake news or whatever. People are just different, and easily offended, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old, like most of you. We hope for, we reminisce about the good times. Like I was watching Olivia Newton-John again, and she's a cutie, right? Both beautiful voice, everything about her. We don't have that days, we don't have this, probably Taylor Swift, maybe, but she can't touch Olivia Newton-John in terms of her vocal abilities. Yeah, and I reminisce those days when she was still around, and we can't have time standing still. Like one of her songs, to be suspended in time, from that soundtrack of the movie that she made when she was a goddess, something like that. There was this song called "Suspended in Time." We hope to have a suspension in time where our best days are at. But how do we know our best days until we've left, after we have passed them and go, oh, that was the best time of my life, you know? I think that I'm still living my life, and I'm still living the best days of my life even today. Like I was sharing you that I thank God for all the little favors that He had granted me. This is still the best day of my life, and the passage of time that we go through will teach us how to deal with situations, to teach, to encourage. And that's why we grow old for a reason, and that's why we make mistakes for a reason. You know, I was just talking to one of my students who's so afraid to play because he's so afraid to make mistakes. I know that's weird, but you know, it happens. And I was telling him that you cannot learn until you make mistakes, because there's no way that everybody can be perfect like this. You know, we were born to be like this. You know, we need to make mistakes so that we can learn from our mistakes. And the more mistakes that you make, the more things you learn. You know, but the catch is that you have to rectify your mistakes. Right? There's guitar playing. Olivia Newton-John, yeah, she's the GOAT. I can't make time stand still, but I sure would like to slow it down so I can keep up. Well, you're keeping it up all right, old timer. You're doing pretty well for a guy your age. This is cool. Hopelessly Devoted to You still gets regular airplay here. Yeah, I'll bet. Grease was such a great movie. It is. My all-time favorite song from Olivia Newton-John is Have You Ever Been Mellowed? Check that song out. And the other song, what's the other song? Good grief. What's the other song? I gotta check my iTunes whether I still have it. Do I have Olivia Newton-John over here? I don't know. Can't play it though. I have a copyright strike. MMO pay. Do I have Olivia Newton? No, I don't have Olivia. Oh, do I do. Oh no, I don't have it here. Anyway, so it's what did I say? Have you ever been mellowed? And have you ever been mellowed? It's a really nice song. And Don't Stop Believing. Yeah, these are two of my quintessential favorite songs of all time for Olivia Newton-John. These two songs, Don't Stop Believing, Have You Ever Been Mellowed. Every time I hear these two songs, I will go like, oh. Yeah. No more 439 now, sorry. Yeah. So we hopefully we learn from the past. Like, you know, we know that war is bad, but yet people are still waging war to this day. You know, we know bombs are bad. It dismembers people and blows them into smithereens, into bits and pieces of flesh. But we're still bombing people even today. We never learn, do we? We never do learn. It's really sad. Oh, 4 hours? Why is 4 hours? Dennis Cole. Yes. What is the best Strat style guitar in your opinion? Fender, Tyler, Sir, K-Line, Nash, Nachos. Wow. Danocaster, so many options. I would love to cover one of her songs, but I can't sing like her. I'll try. Maybe I'll do it. Okay, back to your question, Dennis. In my opinion, the James Tyler. Yeah, I've been thinking seriously about this. I tried to serve Tom Anderson, but some really good custom shop Fenders. Yeah, that would be a real close one. But the James Tyler seemed to hit everything that I want in a Strat. No string trees, tuning, stability, pickups, the look, you know. The Sir comes a pretty close second actually. Again, no string trees, really well manufactured, really well crafted. Yeah, yeah, that's it. All right, Toddy, take care. Take care, brother. What? ESP LTD and 1000. Yeah, that would be okay. Yeah, there are many guitars out there, so you have to do your research basically. And I'm never one to advocate listening to YouTubers about their opinions on guitars. I think they are just a guide for you. The ones that that are really genuinely trying to help. Uh, it's more like a guide to you, but you have to like go down to a shop somehow or borrow a guitar from a friend and try it out to understand what makes a good guitar a good guitar. You know? Gino, yeah, Gino has really nice strats. Like the S500 is a really great guitar. The Legacy too. Yeah. I love playing rhythm. One of my best time in a gig, in that show that I did was just to play rhythm. Um, that whole aspect to it. Playing guitar for me, the joy of playing guitar for me is not just about playing solos and stuff like that. It's about the whole package. The lead, the dancing, the body movement, the sound. Yeah, that's for me is what makes it so enjoyable to play music. You know, some people, the young ones especially, would think of guitar playing. Oh, I want to do solo. I want to do all the happening solo. I want to shred. I want to do this. I want to do that. But when you come to a band, playing in a band, playing solo is not the only thing. You need to be really proficient in your rhythm playing, acoustic guitar playing, for example, doing all the various genres. So you have to be mindful of that. We are spoiled with the amount of great guitars out there, but always try before. Yes, always try. Regardless of whether it's an expensive brand or a medium price or affordable, you need to try it out. The affordable ones like the Harley Benton, they're so affordable that sometimes, yeah, I can understand not trying them or just buying online. And for some of you guys, Europeans, you can actually always return it, without any cost to you. So that makes sense. Singapore, no way. There's no way I would order a guitar from Harley Benton and return it if I don't like it because I have to pay for the delivery because it's so far away from Germany, right? Yeah, stuff like this. So you need to like try on a pair of shoes, for example, or a pair of boots. One of the guys in practice used his watch and say, "How do you do that?" I was fast. Yeah, I like to play rhythm. I like to play rhythm and switch over to solo uh, when the time came. So it's an acquired skill. And then to top it off, you need to sing. So, yeah, speed ain't nothing without class. Well, something I told my student today, and I told him it's Jonathan Cole patented, but I don't think I'm the one who started this saying. I told him that a lot of people play from here, but very few players play from here. You should be able to start playing from here and then here. So the mind and the heart, probably like 60% heart and 40% head, or maybe even more, like 80% heart and 20% head. I think I'm like, yeah, I'm about 70-30. I don't think a lot. When I play, I just play. So there are a lot of fast players out there, but there are also a lot of fast players that plays with feel. So they are like 60-40, 70-30, And then you get guys like Eric Clapton who plays like 80-20, Jeff Beck 80-20. So You have to decide where you are at. You can be 50-50 if you want to. Don't ever be 60-40 on the other end, because your playing will be like so devoid of any emotion. Emotion is part of the game. Music is a emotional um, media. You hear things and you get emotional. Like I was talking about Olivia Newton-John. Like, if I hear my favorite song and I get emotional and I go, oh man, I miss her. I used to love her. Used to be so in love with her. So that's the emotion that you get when you're hearing a piece of music. And a lot of it comes from here. So when you're playing it, it has to be from here. Because if it's not from here, how can anyone receive it from you and feel it, what you're trying to get at? They won't. They will just, well, you play fine, you play fast, and that's it. Yeah. You're the man, Dennis. Any more questions before I call it a night? Yeah. This gimbal. I was shooting the video the other day for a secondary shot of the guitar, and it went crazy. It went ape crazy on me, and I thought, oh man, I have a faulty gimbal. I found out that I have to balance this thing really, really well, and there's a whole procedure to it. So once you balance it well, it's cool. But once it's not balanced well, it will lock up and it will say X is locked. And for the life of me, I couldn't understand what in the world do you mean by X is lock. I check all the locks and everything because this has locking mechanism on it so that your gimbal doesn't flip around the place when you're transporting it. But it wasn't that. It was that it wasn't well balanced. So you had to balance everything properly so that you won't have all the error message coming on. Where are you? Play at the heart is where separates good players from great players. Wish I had recorded that method. Are you familiar with Teresa Ting? Yes, I am, Orion. I'm surprised that you heard of her. She's one of the classics, great voice, great personality, but sadly she fell in love with the wrong person, who led her to her untimely death. 2 minute papers. John, your playing is some of the best and most tasteful guitar playing around. Love your Harley Benton reviews. You really make those cheap guitars sing. Thank you. I thank you. Yeah, they are great guitars, even though they are affordable. And I choose not to use the word cheap, but they're affordable. And I have to be really honest with you that these guitars can do the work. But some of these guitars are not the most comfortable guitars to play, right? Sometimes because of the fret work, sometimes because of the tuning instability. Yeah, most of the time the sound of the pickups are okay. They're not the best, but they're okay. You can get really nice tones out of it, with adjustments done. But all these guitars, whether they are from Harley Benton or from Bacchus or wherever, they're not. All of them are not. I can't say that all are easy to play. Some of them are not that easy to play. So I have to work my way around it. And for some of the guitars that are really hard to play, for example, I won't review them at all. I would just give them back, and rather to have them back in the shop than to have a bad representation of it. So yeah, that's me. Hi, David. How are you? Oh, 1.5 million sub. What's the channel about? Uh, well, in a way, but she does a lot of original stuff, and yeah, she can be considered Oliver Newton-John of Asia. But if you were to say the Oliver Newton-John of Asia, that would be Tracy Huang, because she's pretty. I also had a crush on her. I had a crush on a lot of female singers, but not a whole lot, just two of them: Oliver Newton-John and Tracy Huang, who happens to be a Taiwanese. And she covers a lot of Oliver Newton-John songs, and she was really popular in the 70s or 80s, and her albums actually do sell. So and subsequently later on, she released her Chinese album. So she's good. You have an interesting channel, 2 Minute Papers. Interesting. So you're into the CPT chat thing. It's pretty cool. I actually told it to. I actually got down to the CPT chat, and instructed to write a Wikipedia for me, but they couldn't find enough information on my name, so couldn't do it. I mean, a time will come when I would say like, write me some lyrics to a song. Oh, wrong spelling is oh, she's a looker. She's a looker. She's very beautiful. Let me just show you a photograph of her. Or where should I go? Display capture. No. Window capture? Nope. Image? Nope. Image? No. Where should I go? Why can't I find it? How come I can't find it? Supposedly it's window capture. Yeah. So I was trying to do that, but I got a couple of names, so and they don't really do Chinese for me here in the GPT chat. So, okay, let me show you. Tracy Huang, right? Hold on, I'm getting there. Where is it? I can't find it. Why? Google. There you go. Okay, so that's Tracy Huang on the this corner. So can I bring this up? Right. Yep, that's her. Looker, right? Yeah, I used to have a crush on her, and I remember I bought every album of hers, and I used to work in a departmental store before I went to the army. And one day, I saw her. She was heading down to the record section to buy some albums, some vinyl records, and I was like, "Wow, that's Tracy Huang." So, we're just starstruck. I just had a terrible crush on her back then. Okay, enough of this. And years later, back in 2014, 13, I was doing a concert here in Singapore and with Ame. So we had a guest artist, and guess who's the guest artist? Tracy Huang. And I spoke to my good friend producer Paula, who happens to know her, and I said, "Look, Paula, do me a favor because I really need to talk to her. So during the after show party, can you just kind of introduce me to her, please, please, please?" And she did. My good friend Paula, and she was so nice and so gentle, the way that I imagined her to be. And we sat down at a table, we started talking, and I told her that I had a crush, a terrible crush on her. She was kind of embarrassed, and but yeah, such a babe, even at that age. So classy lady, yeah. You have been crushed by several women. They read a heavy set. Okay, Timothy, what? Let's pray for all our breast cancer warriors, both in battle, as well as those who have fallen on this Mother's Day. God give strength and heal those families in need. Amen, amen. Yeah. Hello from Poland. Okay, so I have to go. Um, Too bad. Private, I'm just about to leave. So, uh, I remember me telling you guys I was about to leave an hour ago, more than an hour ago. Yeah, 45 minutes ago. So I gotta go. My eyes are closing on me. Let's just say a short prayer, right? So for those of you guys who are here, and thank you, Jesus, for all my brothers who are here tonight. I pray a blessing for them. I pray that for those who still have their mothers with them, that Lord, that you watch over them. Happy Mother's Day to all of them. I also pray that what Tim has just suggested, that all those who are suffering from cancer, that Lord, that you have mercy upon their souls, upon their bodies, Lord. Heal them, Lord, and put peace into their families' heart and minds, Lord. But this day, Lord, I just pray for my brothers who are with me right now, that, Lord, you will grant them a great week ahead, that we give them new opportunities and open up doors for them. And above all, Lord, the opportunity to be happy, to be carefree, and to be able to be stress-free, even for a couple of minutes or half an hour or an hour or so, that, Lord, they will have the opportunity. I pray for Dennis especially, that, Lord, that you will grant him your favor, but I think have a smooth transition to whatever work he's doing, the new board, protect his back as he's carrying stuff around in his hands, Lord. I thank you for this brother, Lord, you have preserved him thus far, and I pray the Lord you continue to watch over him, as well as all my brothers here who are of age, the Lord, that you will watch over our healths, because we need your help, Lord. We need your blessing to have a wonderful and a healthy body, Lord, to experience this lovely life that you've given to us, Lord. I thank you, Jesus. I praise you with all my heart and soul. I love you, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Cool. We're done. Oh, man. Sorry to hear that, Dennis. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. I know. Thank you, Logify, for always being there for me. If you ever are in Facebook, my Logify, add me in. Tell me who you are. I'll add in you. So if you're in Facebook, but if you're not, then it's too bad. We can always keep in touch over here. All right. Same goes for you, Orion, and for you, Dennis, for the matter. If you guys are in Facebook, just come over, just add me in. Okay. Thank you, Chuck. You too. Take care, guys.